Chapter 58. Unexpected meeting between Rielle and Hyun-Ki. After a few minutes of waiting, Rielle came out. Her head looked down at her bag as she walked in, then bumped into Hyun-Ki, who deliberately stood on Rielle's path. Rielle was shocked while Hyun-Ki stood before her, his hands behind his back, and his face was dark and severe. "How's my ex-fiancé doing?" he coldly asked while Rielle walked back slowly away, her hands trembling. Hyun-Ki continued, "How easy could you dump me and forget me quickly? And how fast could you get a man to replace me? Huh? Was he an easy bait?" Rielle, she was hurt and simultaneously annoyed by his false accusations that she started to walk away, avoiding attention. Rielle hurriedly returned to their table, wiping her tears as she walked away from Hyun-Ki. As she sat down, Akio noticed something strange about Rielle's appearance. "You look pale, Rielle. Had something happened out there? You seemed like you have seen a ghost," Akio commented concernedly. "No, I felt tired, I guess. Could we get out of here, Akio? I want to breathe," she said. Akio nodded, waved his hand at the waiter, and made a gesture about their bill. Then a few seconds, their account came. Akio inserted some bill notes in the clip folder, then assisted Rielle from her seat, and they briskly walked away. Meanwhile, Hyun-Ki was watching them as the two left their table. The uncanny encounter between Hyun-Ki and Rielle was unsettling for Rielle, and she could not remove from her vision the angry and frightening look from Hyun-Ki's eyes. Why was he so mad at me, accusing me of replacing him so quickly when it was him who did that to me? Then, what does he think of me, a whore flirting with rich men? How could you accuse me wrongly, Hyun? You have no right to say ugly words to me as if you had never known me. Rielle was speaking her mind. Finally, Hyun-Ki and Rielle met face to face with ugly accusations hurled against Rielle. Could she ever avoid Hyun-Ki after this encounter? Rielle lay face down on her pillow and snuggled it close so no one could hear her cry. She felt her heart so heavy, alone with no one to cry on, and she continued to weep until she fell asleep. The following day, Hyun-Ki spoke to someone over the phone. He convinced the person to make an additional investment and considered putting a 50% share of stocks in a company he eyed for investment. The person at the end of the line agreed and would present Hyun-Ki's offer to the board of trustees within the week. He smiled weirdly, and his face became dark and somewhat angry. Meanwhile, Rielle was still in a sad mood when she woke up. Feeling heavy and gloomy, she felt like not going to work today. She dialed her manager's number, then quickly turned it off. She stood from her bed, then sat again. Feeling restless and sick, she called Natalie, then spoke. "Natalie, I am not feeling well today. Please tell Mrs. Echeverria that I called in sick today. Did yesterday's occasion affect you much that you are now ill?" "OMG, Rielle, are you not used to having a love life that made you unwell? It was only a Valentine's Day. What more of it?" Rielle interrupted her. Being as curious and stubborn as Natalie was, Rielle felt sick of Natalie's ridiculous questions. "Oh, Natalie, stop the crap. Will you just tell our manager that I couldn't come today, please?" Natalie realized her talkativeness. She apologized and then said, "Sorry. Please get well soon. Take some medicines and plenty of water," Natalie said concernedly. Meanwhile, Akio was already waiting for Rielle as he stood leaning by his car. He felt bothered when Rielle's curtains were still closed, and he went toward Rielle's room. He tapped her door, and when Rielle did not answer, Akio knocked heavily. Rielle was startled by the heavy knocking, so she sprinted toward the door and was surprised to see Akio with a concerned stare at her. "What happened, Rielle? Are you unwell?" Akio asked, alarmed at Rielle's swollen eyes. "Oh, it was nothing. I just missed my family," quipped Rielle. "So, that explains your swollen eyes. You cried so hard last night, is that it?" asked Akio, feeling funny about Rielle's mood. "What's so funny about my crying? Huh? Was it a sin to feel bad and cry?" complained Rielle. "You should have talked to me last night, and things have become lighter for you. Does that explain why you looked pale the previous night? I told you I am a friend you can depend on, Rielle. You could always use my shoulder to cry on," Akio assured Rielle. Rielle considered Akio a sweet and thoughtful friend and was fortunate to have a friend like him. After breakfast together, Akio had to leave for work and advised Rielle to rest. "I'd call you from time to time to check on you. I'll be back after 6 to check on you again. Is that okay?" Rielle, she nodded timidly and replied, "Sure. Thank you, Akio." Meanwhile, Guanchal's office was busy distributing invitation cards around the company officers and dispatched messengers to give them to the listed guests. Akio Hinode was one on the list. While taking their dinner, Akio showed an invitation to a birthday charity ball and asked Rielle if she could be his guest. "I will have to write down your name tomorrow for our SVP. So I would like to know if you could be my guest, please." "But why me? Why not take your girlfriend rather than take me as your guest?" Rielle asked and then pursed her lips to stress her concern. Akio grinned, looked at Rielle teasingly, and replied, "Don't you want to be my girlfriend?" Rielle, her eyes grew wide, surprised at Akio's remark. She looked at Akio straight and replied, "Sure, I am your friend, Akio, a girlfriend, and I am honored to be a part of your circle of friends, but what I mean to say is, you should bring your fiancé with you." "Not me." Akio didn't take his eyes off Rielle and continued, "I have no fiancé, Rielle, and you know that. Like you, I was loveless. That's why I invited you to have a Valentine's dinner last night. And I have no female friends, just you, as my first friend girl." Rielle quickly shied away from Akio and said, "I'm sorry, I forgot. I am honored to be your friend, Akio. So, since I am your guest at the party, I need to find a party dress then." "Thank you, Rielle. No need to buy a dress. I will send someone to your place early tomorrow night to help you choose your party dress together with a hair and makeup artist to make you more beautiful than ever. But why bother, Akio? It would be easier to buy one of my choices, because I want you to be the most beautiful among the lady guests." Rielle squinted, suspicious of Akio's remark. "Was I that beautiful that you want to display me? And for what? To show off? Of course not. Having a lovely lady with him is a man's glory." Rielle looked down and was cloyed by Akio's statement. "I'll have the fashion designer and the hairstylist see you tomorrow. Don't say no." The following day, Rielle returned to work. While she was in the bank, entirely focused on her routine, she suddenly remembered this day, Hyun-Ki's birthday. Rielle took her mobile phone and thought of browsing over her phone gallery looking at her pictures with Hyun-Ki. Then a recall of the past sweet memories came to her mind. During Hyun-Ki's previous birthday party, the celebration was in a hotel. It had only been a few months since she was his executive assistant and entrusted with overseeing his birthday party at the hotel. Rielle had been busy managing the party and greeting the incoming guests. The party began when the party host announced the start of the dance. Everyone was dancing to upbeat music, and Rielle stood at the corner watching the guests. Then a lady pulled Hyun-Ki out from his seat to the center to dance. While dancing, he saw Rielle standing alone and moving to the beat of the music. Hyun-Ki secretly smiled as he found her quite engaging. That was when he realized Rielle was indeed alluring and realized that he was madly in love with her. When the music changed to slow, soft, and mellow, he left his dance partner and walked towards Rielle. He gave a courteous nod and offered his hand to Rielle, smiling sweetly. Rielle initially hesitated because she didn't want their secret relationship be exposed to the public. But she realized Hyun-Ki was still her CEO and she had to accept his hand to dance. And so, Hyun-Ki brought her to the center. He held her waist and placed Rielle's hand on his chest, then held her other hand and swayed her to dance. Hyun-Ki stared intently at her as they were dancing slowly. Her hands turned cold. He placed his face closer to her and whispered, "I only realized then that you're so beautiful, so alluring, Rielle. I won't tire of dancing with you this entire evening." She was thrilled that night because she was also falling deeply in love with her CEO and her heart was beating, thumping like her heart seemed to explode. And when the music stopped, Hyun-Ki never lost his hold on her but walked around the guests' table and introduced her as his assistant, feeling proud to bring her around. And within her, it was like heaven. He gave a full consent with having their photos taken when they were dancing, and they became man and woman of the hour. Hyun-Ki never lost his grip on her hand until the party was over. And after the party, Hyun-Ki was all over her. Natalie noticed Rielle's silent giggling then asked, What are you giggling about?" And Rielle quickly closed her mobile and sing-song. "Nothing." Akio was getting closer to Rielle. Would Akio have a better chance for Rielle's love? Keep following me on my YouTube channel and TikTok for the Windows of the Heart series with more exciting episodes. Thank you.